All right, so we have another exercise that we're going to be looking at on computing the cost of sales, i.e. cost of goods sold, and ending inventory. So cost of sales or cost of goods sold, income statement, ending inventory is over on the balance sheet. Now this particular exercise is a little bit more complicated than some of the others that we have looked at, because we have multiple inventory purchases. In a couple of the other recent videos that we've had, we've looked at beginning inventory, both in terms of units and unit cost. But then we've had purchases throughout the period that were given to us as both a total number of units and then a cost. But here we have 1, 2, 3 purchases that are made. And then we have some similar information. Ending inventory at the end of the period is 350 units. And they want us to compute ending inventory and the cost of goods sold. Now, ending inventory in dollars, and cost of goods sold for the current period using Fifo, average cost, and Lifo. All right, very good. So, what we want to understand here, how I would do this is, the first thing that I would do is I would come up here and I would find out what my total available for sale here is, or my total inventory available. And that's not an official term or anything like that. But I'm just going to add these items up here, and there's a reason for that. And we will get to that reason momentarily after I add these up. 1,500 units. Now, I'm not so concerned about the unit cost just yet, but if I had 1,500 units available and I have 350 units in ending inventory, then it stands to reason that I could subtract let's see here, 1,500 minus 350 is 1,150. So these are the number of units sold, 1,150. Okay, and we're going to need to consider that as we work through this exercise. All right. So for FIFO, which is what we're going to look at first, and think what I'm going to do here. Let's straighten that paper up and clear this out right quick. I'm going to say, okay, well, I know that I sold 1,150, and I know that I sold all 100 of my beginning inventory purchases, because we're using FIFO, and the first end inventory are the first out of inventory. So for FIFO, I can say, okay, what is 100 times 45? And I believe that we will come up with $4,500 for that, but let's just go ahead and plug it in. Okay. Kind of write small here so I don't get over into the other area there. So we've got 4,500. Then I'm selling all 650 of this first purchase here, so 650 times $41 a unit. So here we have a situation where the costs are going down. So I want 650 times 41 gives me 26,650. All right. Now, notice that 100 and 650, clean that zero up a little bit, that's 750. And we sold 1,150. So that means I'm going to need 400 of this second purchase times 37. Gives me 14,800. All right, and that's my 1,150 items that I sold here at these values. Since I've got the 14,800 already on the calculator, I'm going to work up, and I'm going to add the 26,650 plus this $4,500 here. And I'm going to come up with a cost of goods sold of 45,950. All right. Now, notice that we have all of the number 3 inventory purchase of 200 units, plus we still have 150 of these, and voila, that's the 350 units of ending inventory. But what is the value of those, right? Well, we're going to take 150 of those units and multiply it by 37. So let's just see here. We'll call this cost of goods sold, and we'll call this down here ending inventory. So for FIFO, 150 times 37 is 5550. And then we also are going to need all 200 of these units here times $35, which I believe should be 7,000. Let's see here, times 35 is 7,000. Okay, so 7,000 plus 5550 is going to give me ending inventory of 12,550. Right, and we're going to leave that alone for now, and we're going to move on. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these a little bit out of order, because average cost is going to take us a little bit of time here. There's actually a couple of things that we could do if we wanted to. We could do average cost here, but I'm going to do LIFO next, and I'm going to show you why I'm going to do it next after we get through it. So with LIFO, we still sold the same 1,150 units. All right. But we're going to go backwards. We're going to start here, and then we're going to go up. So for cost of goods sold under LIFO, we're going to take 200 times 35, and we're also going to take 550 times 37, and 200 and 550 is 750. So we're also going to need 400 of these units right here to establish our cost of goods sold. So 400 times 41. All right, so we know, because we already calculated this before, that's 7,000. And then the 550 here times 37 is 20,350. And then the 400 times 41, kind of a weird looking 41, equals 16,400. So working our way up, I've got the 16,400 on the calculator plus 20,350 plus 7,000. and that comes up to $43,750. And probably need to label this cost of goods sold because I kind of switched it up on you. So actually, let me move that over here so I'm not in the way of my average cost section there. Okay, and then so I'm going to do ending inventory up here for Lifo. And so we know that we have these units here. And so we've got 100 times 45. And then we also have 250 of these units here. So bear with me 1 second. We sold 400 of these 650, so we still have 250 left. All right. So for ending inventory, we had previously calculated this right over here for a different reason. So we got 4,500 there. But then we also need to come up with 250 times 41. So 4,500 there and 10,250 here. So let's add to this our 4,500, and that gives us 14,750. Now, there's a reason why I did this in the order that I did. What I want to do now is because here's the thing, you might have an exercise where you don't have to calculate average cost at all. It might just be a FIFO versus LIFO. And so if you've got that kind of exercise and you were just wanting to figure out how to do this, we've covered the two biggies. But now what I want to do is I want to add these two figures together. So I've got the 14,750 plus the 43,750, and that gives me 58,500. Okay, 58,500 total between cost of goods sold and ending inventory. Now I'm going to come over here to FIFO and I'm going to add those same two figures together, and hopefully I will get the exact same thing. 58,500. This is a pretty good indicator that we have done these correctly. All right. Finally, we need to do average cost. Now, we already came up with this 1,500. Remember when we added these figures here together? Now what we need to do is we need to, let's see here, that was 26,650. So we calculated that before. And then down here, I'm going to use this 550 times 37, so 2350. And let's see here, 200 times $35 was 7,000. And so we're going to need all of these numbers in full to get our average cost. 26,650. And then 20,350. Plus 7,000. And notice we get at the exact same figure that we got when we added these two items together here. Okay. So to get our average cost, I'm going to just stick with this 58,500 and I'm going to divide by the 1,500 units. Back up there. Gives me exactly $39 per unit. So $39 per unit. So with that information then, all we have to do is say, okay, well, I sold 1,150 units as calculated right up here. So that's going to give us cost of goods sold of $44,850. And then if I wanted to, I could just subtract 44,850 from 58,500, but I'm going to do it based on how the question is set up. So 350 units in ending inventory times the average cost of $39 gives me 13,650. And in fact, if I add the 13,650 in ending inventory value to the cost of goods sold under weighted, average cost. Whoops, made a mistake there. We'll start over again. 13,650 plus 44,850 gives us 58,500. All right, and as we may have said in another video already, average cost produces cost of goods sold in between FIFO and Lifo. In this case, FIFO was higher. Why? Because prices were going down. Okay, and also ending inventory is in between FIFO and Lifo. Again, makes sense that Lifo would have the highest inventory value because it has more of these more expensive items, and that FIFO would have the lowest ending inventory value because its inventory value is made up in here. And then, of course, weighted cost was just the $39 per unit. All right, that's it.